Okay, so that's a sound demonstration of the Mesa Boogie amp. It's really quite hard to see, isn't it? It's just there behind me, close mic'd with a condenser mic. So this video, I said in the previous video that I just have a floor fan behind the amp blowing onto the tubes and transformers. And talking of transformers, that's the first thing I want to say in this video. Is in the last one I said that I was well aware of the danger of transformers still holding a charge long after the amp switched off. What I meant to say was capacitors. Those are the things that are dangerous, and they're not always, well, not for some layman, easy to identify. So the message is, for me, for my little daughter, for anyone else with kids especially, is just don't let anybody poke their fingers into the workings of the amp. And an ideal thing would be if you had an amp cover, you know, the kind of fabric thing you can slide over the amp when you're not using it. That would stop toddlers sticking their fingers in. Otherwise, they've got to be in a different room. So that's the safety thing. I don't think transformers hold a charge. I'm not sure, but basically, be careful. So, taking stock of my purchase in this one, as well as another little sound demo, I've probably rather too late been watching some videos on YouTube about this particular amp, this particular model, and Mesa amps in general. And there are quite a few which more or less rhapsodize about the quality and the wonderfulness of the amps. And often the Santana connection is mentioned, and that's part of the story of, what was he called, Randall Smith, the guy who invented Mesa Boogie and worked for Prune Music as a guitar and amp repairer and modifier. And Santana walked in one day and just played one of his modified high-powered versions of a small Fender and was blown away by it. And there's a mystique about Mesa Boogies. Apparently the Rolling Stones heard Santana during the jam and wholesale went over to Mesa Boogies for a year or two. So yeah, there are people on the internet who almost worship the thing. And then you come across amp repairers. There's one guy in particular, his channel's called Brad's Guitar Garage. He's an Australian, and he obviously knows his electronics. And he hates them. He thinks they're, let's see, what words did he use? It's a quite entertaining thing to watch, but you end up, if you own one of these things, full of dismay. Yeah, shit amps. Mesa dog shit design. They're not really engineers. Shoddy components, typical of Mesa, and so on. Now, I've already bought it. I had a choice of a 2-rock, all low wattage, 15 watts or whatever, a 2-rock head and cabinet to buy, or a Tone King Imperial, which unfortunately was 100 miles away, and it was not turquoise. Not being turquoise put me right off, actually. The 2-rock was also quite far away. The difference with the Mesa Boogie for sale was that it was local to me, and the guy was offering to drop it off in his car. And he did, a really nice guy, and we took the amp down here to my studio, plugged it in, made sure it worked, and had a good old chat. He gave me the name of somebody who also wanted to buy it in case I didn't like the amp. I could easily sell it on. All nice, all good. But now I'm really shocked by how much criticism this Brad's Garage guy vented on an actual 22 watt studio Mesa Boogie, the exact same one as me, but one in very bad condition with burnt patches of circuit board and blown out components, but still working. So I wanted to say to anybody who's watching these videos of mine about this Mesa Boogie studio amp, word of caution, it may not be the best thing to buy. If this guy at Brad's Garage is correct, and it is full of shoddy components and dog shit design and layout, I mean, I've already pointed out that the tubes are upside down and underneath the circuit board, so all the heat from those and the transformers migrates upwards into the circuit board, which can't be good. So, on the other hand, you know, Santana's Moonflower was recorded with one of these things, with a Mesa Boogie amp, Mark 1 or Mark 2. And it's an amazing guitar tone. And also Gibson have bought the company now. It's part of the Gibson group of companies. They may have just bought it for the name, because there is obviously a big market for Mesa Boogies. And they've been referred to as, just like Apple, marketing wanketeers, selling shit. But everybody believes it's wonderful. So I'm left, you know, in a quandary. But as you've just heard, it sounds great. And actually, I don't want to particularly own a wonderfully designed and specified amp. What I want is the sound, and for it not to break down. So maybe I have got that. And maybe I should just chill out and not worry too much about Australian repairers' rants. Okay, I think that's enough for this. This is just a kind of short add-on. The safety issue is serious though. I mean, capacitors look quite innocent. Little blue cigarette-shaped things. And they can give you a whack, and if it goes across your heart, it could kill you. And this is even long after the amp has been turned off, so there's danger in there. Okay, that's enough for now. Thanks for watching.